I usually don't post videos on Sundays, but this story was just too good to just pass up. It was some good shit that someone just brought my way. They said, yo, Progeny, this is a good shit right here. You need to try this. And I just, did a quick, and I was like, damn, brother. That's that good shit right there. And now I gotta share that with y'all. Because today, we definitely need to talk about a man that donated $500,000 to a female streamer just so that she can call him bro. This is a pretty wild story. We're gonna cover the article and everything, and we're gonna get right into it because this definitely needs to be a case study on why people spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on content creators for making such a simple request. There's a multitude of things, I bet, but let's dive into this story and we'll discuss that in a bit. Earlier this year, he developed an obsession with online live streaming and began funneling money into supporting a particular female anchor, whose identity remains undisclosed. Initially, he drained his family savings, prompting them to restrict his access to funds. Undeterred, Hong continued to exploit his position to finance his addiction. So you have a story about this man who, as the article mentions, right from the jump, he was addicted to this live streaming platform. I don't know what this live streaming platform consists of, but apparently there's like a ranking thing that goes on. So say I'm a live streamer and I have a ranking system that I follow. Apparently, the higher you are in ranking, that's actually like a good thing. And if you're like in the top 10s or the top 5s, that means you have more people watching your content, donating to you. But to climb up those ranks, somebody needs to watch your content and also have to spend money on your content as well. And apparently this is what this gentleman by the name of Hong is doing. He's basically trying to help this female anchor or this female content creator, and he's donating money to her. But of course, he's exploiting his position. In other words, he's basically has his priorities mixed up. He's putting this female content creator before anything, and it gets really crazy from here. Working in a hardware trade, he started stealing copper materials during deliveries for his family business. Beginning in May, he routinely pilfered copper during these deliveries and sold it to a waste recycling stations for cash. This continued until October 15th, when the factory reported a significant quantity of missing copper to the Hengji police station suspecting theft. Following the police investigation, Hong, accompanied by his family, turned himself in. It's pretty wild that you had somebody that was going out of their way to siphon money from the family business. He was basically taking copper from the family business and he was selling it to a recycling center, whatever you want to call it, and he was making money off of it, and whatever money he would make from recycling copper from his family's business, he would contribute it to the female content creators stream. And it's really sad only because you have an individual that is willing to jeopardize his family's business if it means that this female content creator gets some lump sum of money time and time again. Now, they haven't really mentioned if this guy is like mentally unstable, if he's toxic, or if he has this crazy obsession over this woman. He was arrested, he turned himself in, he was accompanied by his family, and when the police was investigating him, they were saying that how like, hey, did you commit any of these thefts? He did say that he committed 2 thefts, and he said, but that was it. There was no other further, involvement, which was pretty funny if you think about it. I don't know why he would just commit to like a select few. Probably they had a little bit of dirt on him. They're like, all right, I did that. That was me. But the rest was not my fault. That wasn't me. But then over time, when they started interrogating him, they had evidence that further proved that, hey, you was involved in more than 2 thefts. So let's be honest. How many thefts were you really involved in with this family business when it came to their copper materials missing? And this is where it gets crazy. He admitted to committing over 40 thefts since May, amassing about 2.3 million yuans, or $316,000 in US currency, all of which he spent on tipping the live streaming host to elevate her rankings. Explaining his motives, Hong stated, "I didn't want to meet her, I just wanted to hear her call me brother." He also revealed that his obsession forced him to rely on plain steamed buns to stave off hunger and sustain himself. There's a level of sadness when it comes to people sacrificing necessities, priorities, family, and a lot of other things if it means contributing funds to somebody else online that could really give a shit about who you are. All the content creator sees at the end, on their end at the very least, is just a screen name and someone donated X amount of dollars to you, and that's about it. That's all they know about you. And this guy is going out of his way to donate that much money just for her to call him brother is absolutely something that I just can't understand. Now, I don't know anything about Hong. I'm not sure if he's like mentally unstable or he's just socially awkward and he's rejected by society. People see him as an outsider, so he doesn't really get much social interactions. He comes across this live streaming platform, sees a female streamer, he donates $1 or $2 maybe, and she acknowledges him. He gets that surge of dopamine. He's like, oh, she's giving me attention, okay. It starts boiling over into an addiction. He starts giving more money, and she keeps giving him positive reinforcement, enough for him to be like, oh wow, like she really acknowledges me when I give her money. But not so much so to the point where it's like he's actually yearning for more of that positive reinforcement. So he goes out of his way to take more money, and he starts tipping more and more to the point that he wants to dip into his family's business or his family's savings. And then he starts starving himself and donating thousands upon thousands of dollars. It is absolutely insane, and it's just really sad how it just tumbles on over. It's like a snowball effect. This isn't the first time we've had somebody donate a lump sum of money to a content creator. We have Amouranth. For those that don't know, Amouranth is a popular internet personality. She's also a cosplayer. She's a very popular streamer on Twitch, and she's also an adult webcam model. She had someone, an anonymous donor, donate $70,000, a brand new iPhone. I think it was like the latest one. It was like the iPhone 14 at the time, and self-defense items for herself. Check it out.
So, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, $70,000. Who are you? The second part of the letter is, I have provided a few defense essentials and some cash to ensure that no amount of financial tampering can hinder your resolution. Lastly, I've included a new phone. All you have to do is activate the service. The plan is active and prepaid. No one except you will know the number. If it suits you, feel free to enter these two numbers. And he gave me the number of bodyguards. So this is the number of a private security company I have on retainer. You can call them in the event of an emergency if the other contents of the bag are insufficient. I have a payment source lined up already, so the cost is already taken care of. And then he gave me his number. This is my personal number. If you ever need anything at all, do not hesitate to ask. Happy trails to you until we connect again. And that's it in the letter. There's not like a creepy, run away with me, please marry me, like there normally is. Let me smash. None of that. Let me suck on them toes. It's like a letter. It's like, here's your stuff. Have a good life.
Oh yeah, I forgot that minor detail. Not only did she get a lump sum of money along with like a new iPhone and like a taser, but she also got phone numbers to her own private security. This is a little bit different. There's some context behind this. This isn't just a simp just giving her money just because, oh, like you're really pretty, and like Amouranth mentioned before, there's no, oh, run away with me, marry me, let me suck on them toes or anything. It's just, hey, here's some money, here's a new phone, and this is for your security. I got bodyguards at the ready. That's absolutely wild. But in order to understand why she got all those things and why it's a little bit different of a situation, we need to understand the context as to why she got all that stuff donated to her by an anonymous donor to begin with. Long story short, she went through a very nasty breakup with her then husband at the time. This was like 2-3 years ago, and it was very nasty. Like, we learned that a lot of the content that Amouranth would post years ago was controlled by her husband. He was very emotionally abusive, he was very controlling, he was just a complete piece of shit. This is one of the clips of her actually talking to her then husband while they were arguing, and she was recording this on live stream. I'm gonna let you watch this. Just a heads up, it's a bit distressing, it's heartbreaking even. This is a little bit of a short clip. Check it out.
But what is not okay is to be emotionally frail and then blame it on the person who's not.
What? What are you even talking about? You brought up the dogs out of nowhere.
Exactly.
So what
Prove a point.
point is there improving?
See? You're proving my point right now.
What? I'm asking you to... I don't even understand what you're saying to me.
I know. That's my point. My point is, are you listening or not? If you're not, then get the fuck out.
I'm literally listening, but you're not making any sense.
Well, no, you're not listening because it makes perfect sense. I'm gonna say it one more time. If you don't get it, I need you to get the fuck out.
So this was her talking to her then husband at the time. When she was talking about you brought up the dogs out of nowhere, I kind of clipped this one because it was kind of crazy to even listen to. Basically, her husband back then, or a former husband, was actually threatening to kill her dogs or harm her dogs just out of nowhere in the argument. Like, mind you, the dogs had nothing to do with the conversation that they were having. He just threatened to hurt her dogs, and that's why she was crying and saying, what does her dogs have to do with anything? You brought up the dogs. And it's crazy because he would go on to say, well, exactly. And then he goes on and on talking about, are you listening? Are you even paying attention? And she's even saying, I am listening. So you can already see in that video, he is a complete piece of shit. And if you thought that was crazy, wait until you see this clip of Amouranth, where I would definitely say has to be one of the creepiest, scariest videos or clips on Twitch TV I've come across in relations to this whole situation. Check this one out.
Hello? Hey. I haven't gotten any calls. What are you talking about? Why would you ask me if I'm taking my...
That has to be the creepiest video I've ever seen on Twitch. All you see is a door just slightly open ajar behind her, and the stream cuts off. There has been some theories, and I'm not gonna share anything because I didn't really know so much about this, but apparently, or from what I've heard from people, is that because her husband is very controlling, even down to like the content that she makes, he has some ability to turn off her live stream. So when the door was opening, there may have been a possibility that he confronted her that moment, but he cut off the live stream just right before then, which I think is very eerie to hear. It's eerie, it's scary, it makes my heart drop, and it's something that I don't want to imagine because I really felt bad for Amouranth. She was living a nightmare that I wouldn't even wish on even the worst of my enemies. So that was mainly the context behind why she got that lump sum of money and all that security and the taser thing going on, was because somebody wanted to donate to her to make sure that she was protected. Like, even down to having her own bodyguard service was absolutely insane. And plus, I'm pretty sure that if someone has the money to spend on security and a lump sum of money to just give to somebody on the internet like that, I'm pretty sure this person has a business and they're more than happy to just provide that security service for Amouranth. This guy that we're talking about on this video about Hung, he doesn't have any of that. He actually committed theft. He stole money from his family business. The female anchor didn't need $500,000 just for her to call him bro. Now, why does Amaranth need $70,000 where the anonymous donor could have just given her security and called it a day? No fucking idea. But the whole truth of the matter is some people just like to give money to people because they care about their safety. And then there's other people that donate a shit ton of money just so they could hear their favorite female content creator call them bro. Pretty crazy, right? But other than that, that's really all I have. This was a crazy article that I saw. I just had to share it. But anyways, that's about it. Peace.